It's 6:30 in the morning. The alarm went off. You hit snooze. You stayed in bed for another 5 minutes, not because you wanted to sleep, but because your body simply didn't want to get up. You slept, 8 hours maybe, and yet you still woke up exhausted. You dragged yourself to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and for a second, you just stood there, looking at yourself. You have a doctor's appointment scheduled for this week. You already know what he's going to say. Your labs are normal, blood pressure is normal, thyroid is normal, blood work is normal. Normal. Meanwhile, you can't remember the last time you had any real energy. You can't finish a simple task without needing to stop halfway through. You get irritated by little things that never used to bother you. Your body aches for no apparent reason. But clinically, you're normal. You turn off the faucet. You take a deep breath. And then you go make coffee for everyone else. If you recognize yourself in this scene, my darling, if this nameless exhaustion is part of your daily life, stay with me. Because what I want to tell you today is important, and it might be the first time someone puts a name to exactly what you're going through. Hello, my darling. This is Diane, and welcome to your moment. If you found your way to this video, I already know one thing about you. You are tired. Not just bad day tired. Not the kind of tired that disappears after a long weekend or a vacation. It's that exhaustion that has become part of the scenery. It's there when you wake up, it follows you all day, and it's still right there when you lay your head on the pillow. And the worst part is, you can't quite explain where it's coming from. I know this because I have been in that exact same place, functioning on the outside, falling apart on the inside. Smiling in family photos while, deep down, I barely recognized myself. I went to the doctor, did the blood work, and was told everything was fine. So I kept carrying that weight without knowing what it was, where it came from, or most importantly, that there was a way out. Today, I want to have a real conversation with you about this. With total clarity. No fluff. In this video, we are going to do 3 things together. First, I'm going to show you what's actually happening, because this burnout you're feeling has a name, and it's not in your head. It's not weakness, and it's not just getting older. Second, I'm going to help you identify the 5 concrete signs that you're in the middle of a silent burnout, because most women have been carrying these symptoms for years without realizing it. And third, before you leave, you'll have 3 real, actionable steps to start slowing down. Not tomorrow. Not when you finally have the time. Right now. You're in the right place, my darling. And I'm so glad you stayed. Let me describe a day for you. You wake up before everyone else, not because you want to, but because there are things to take care of before the house wakes up with you. Coffee, packing lunches, laundry, appointments you've marked on a calendar for someone who isn't you. It's barely 7 a.m. and you're already in execution mode. The day flies by. Meetings, errands, school group texts, a call from your mother, a problem at work that somehow became your responsibility. You handle it. You always handle it. Because that's how it's always been. At night, when you finally sit down, if you even get to sit down, your phone is still buzzing. Someone needs something. And you answer. Because leaving it for tomorrow feels like more work than just fixing it now. And when the house finally goes quiet, when it's your turn to truly rest, your brain won't shut off. It keeps spinning. Reviewing what you did, planning what's next, worrying about what might go wrong. You don't rest. You just switch tasks. The invisible problem. Here is what no one tells you about this cycle. It doesn't feel wrong because it works. You deliver. You get it done. The people around you depend on you, and you never let anyone down. So how could it be wrong? That is exactly where the problem lies. Because for us women, burnout doesn't give a warning before it arrives. It doesn't knock you down all at once. It creeps in slowly, over years, sometimes decades, until one day, your body just stops. Not because you asked it to, because it simply can't take any more. And until that happens, you keep going. With the insomnia that's become your new normal. With the irritability that flashes out of nowhere and leaves you feeling guilty afterward. With the fatigue that doesn't go away even on vacation, with aches and pains that medical tests can't explain, with the feeling of being present for everything, your job, your family, everyone else, and completely absent from yourself. You are everywhere, except inside your own life. What most people do. Most of the women who come to me in this state have tried everything, my darling. They've tried sleeping more. They joined a gym. They took supplements. They booked a getaway. And they came back from that trip just as exhausted as when they left. Because the problem wasn't that their body needed a break. The problem was a system that was never designed for her to stop. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about right now. I want to explain what is happening to you, not with complicated jargon, but with the simple truth that no one has told you yet. What you are experiencing has a name. It's called burnout. And for women over 40, it is almost always silent because you don't stop, you don't ask for help, and you keep functioning while something inside you slowly flickers out. Why the doctor doesn't see it. When a woman walks into a clinic with insomnia, constant irritability, chronic fatigue, and unexplained aches, the most common diagnosis is anxiety, or depression, or it's just perimenopause, it's just your age. And there might be a bit of that involved. But what is almost never investigated is the actual root cause beneath it all. Decades of emotional, physical, and mental overload accumulated without a break, without replenishment, without it ever being your turn. It's not a chemical imbalance that appeared out of thin air. It's the logical result of a lifetime of putting everyone else ahead of yourself. Your body isn't failing you. It's responding to what you've lived through. The difference between normal tired and systemic collapse. Everyone gets tired. That's normal. Normal tiredness goes away after a good night's sleep, a quiet weekend, or a few days off. Systemic collapse is different. It doesn't vanish with rest. Because it's not about how much you slept this week. It's about how much you've ignored yourself for years. It's an exhaustion that has been building up layer by layer, silently, while you kept delivering for everyone around you. And once it reaches a certain point, simple rest can't reach it anymore. The hole is deeper than a single night's sleep can fill. The 5 signs of silent burnout. I want you to pay attention now. Not to diagnose yourself, but to recognize yourself. Because the first step to getting out is knowing where you are. Sign 1. The insomnia that became a routine. You lie down, your body is exhausted, but your mind won't stop. It keeps reviewing the day, planning tomorrow, worrying about things outside your control. You might actually sleep, but you wake up as if you hadn't. How long has this been happening? Weeks? Months? Years? Sign 2. The irritability you can't explain. Tiny things set you off in a way that doesn't feel like you. A simple question, a noise, a slight delay. You react, and then you feel ashamed. You think you're becoming rude, impatient, or difficult. But that's not it. It's the nervous system of a woman who has been pushed to the edge for far too long. Sign 3. Fatigue, that even a vacation can't fix. You came back from your trip feeling exhausted. You rested over the holiday, and by Monday, it felt like you hadn't rested at all. This isn't laziness. It's a sign that your burnout is at a level where superficial rest can no longer reach it. Sign 4. A body that aches for no apparent reason. Frequent headaches. Tension in your neck and shoulders. Muscle pains that appear without physical exertion. The body stores what the mind doesn't process. After too much time ignoring the emotional signals, your body starts speaking for itself. Sign 5. Present for everything, absent from yourself. You're at dinner with the family, but your mind is on a problem at work. You're at work, but thinking about what needs to be handled at home. You are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's that feeling of living on autopilot, of no longer knowing what you want, what you like, or who you even are outside of your responsibilities. If you recognized yourself in 3 or more of these signs, my darling, this video was made for you. Does this resonate with you? If so, let me know in the comments. Give this a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. This is the kind of conversation I want to keep having with you. Now, I need to tell you something, and I want you to listen closely, because this could change the way you see everything we've talked about so far. The burnout you're experiencing isn't a weakness. It's not all in your head. It's not you being dramatic. It is the logical result of an entire life spent learning that your place comes last. Think about it with me, my darling. Since you were a little girl, what were you taught about being a good woman? Be helpful. Be patient. Put others first. Don't complain. Keep it all together. And when you couldn't keep it all together, what did you feel? Guilt, like you were failing everyone. So, you learned to ignore the exhaustion, to swallow the frustration, to say you were fine when you weren't. You did this day after day, year after year, until your body finally hit the limit that your mind tried to pretend didn't exist. You didn't collapse because you are weak. You collapsed because you were strong for too long without anyone helping you carry the load. There's an image I always use that stays with me. You know that instruction the flight attendant gives on a plane? In case of an emergency, put on your own oxygen mask first, before helping the person next to you. It's not because you are more important than they are. It's because if you pass out, you can't help anyone. That is exactly what is happening to you. You've been trying to put the mask on everyone else first. Your husband, your kids, your aging parents, your job, and you've been running out of air, slowly. So slowly that you didn't even notice when you stopped breathing properly. And do you know what the hardest part of this shift is? It's that when you finally start putting yourself first, even if it's just for 15 minutes a day, the guilt hits. Immediately. And it's heavy. But I need you to hear this. That guilt isn't proof that you're doing something wrong. It's proof of how long you spent doing the opposite. You don't have to stop taking care of everyone. You just have to stop being the only one that nobody takes care of. And that is exactly what we are going to work on right now. I'm not going to give you a list of 30 things to change in your life. That's not how this works. And you already know that because you've tried the long lists before and they never stick. What I'm going to give you are 3 small steps. They are simple enough to start this very week because the way out of burnout doesn't happen all at once. It happens through small choices made consistently over time. Pick just one to start. Only one. Step 1. Name what is most active in you right now. Look back at those 5 signs we discussed. Insomnia, irritability, fatigue, physical pain, being absent from yourself. Which one is most present in your life today? Don't try to fix it yet. Just name it. Because what we don't name, we can't care for. Most women spend years carrying these symptoms without ever stopping to look them in the eye. They become background noise. Just part of the day. And once something becomes a routine, it stops feeling urgent, even when it truly is. Grab a piece of paper, write it down. I am struggling with, and fill in what you identified. This simple act of naming it is the beginning of a breakthrough. Step 2. Eliminate one thing that only exists because you never said no. Is there something in your week that is there not because you chose it, but because at some point you agreed to it and never looked back? A commitment, a responsibility that became yours without you asking for it, a task that everyone just assumed you would handle. I'm not asking you to drop everything. I'm asking you to identify one thing, just one. And this week, don't do it. Not because you're being irresponsible, but because you need to learn that the world does not crumble when you stop. Step 3. 15. Non-negotiable minutes a day that are yours alone. Not an hour, not a whole afternoon, 15 minutes, but 15 minutes that aren't for anything else. Not for answering texts, not for thinking about what needs to be done, not for being useful to someone else. Just for you. It could be sitting in silence. It could be having a cup of tea. It could be taking a walk with no destination. What matters isn't what you do. It's that you are present in that moment without owing anything to anyone. This isn't a luxury. It's the bare minimum. And over time, this minimum changes everything. If you want to go deeper on this journey of reconnecting with yourself, my darling, I've created something specifically for this. My ebook, The Woman I Forgot to Be, is a self-discovery guide for women over 40 who are ready to have the most honest conversation they've ever had with themselves. It's not a list of rules. It's not a miracle promise. It's a mirror. And sometimes, all we need is someone to help us truly see ourselves. The link is pinned in the first comment. Before you close this video, I want to ask you a question. And I want you to answer honestly, not for me, but for yourself. Out of the 5 signs we talked about today, which one have you been carrying the longest without ever giving it a name? Tell me in the comments. Because this space exists for exactly that, so you don't have to carry alone what has become far too heavy. Recognizing that you're in burnout isn't the end of anything. It's the beginning of something that should have started a long time ago. You putting yourself on the list. Not at the bottom, on the list. You don't need to feel ready to start. You just need to take one step. And you've already taken one today by staying here until the end. Thank you for staying with me, my darling. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, okay? Let me know in the comments which part resonated with you the most. I'll see you in the next video. Sending you a big hug. Take care of her. She's already waited long enough. I'll see you next week, my darling.